or Facebook after the fact. This is the beginning of it for you. But we do these live every Wednesday night. We have to wait for all the peeps to filter on in. It's just the way things work. There's nothing we can do about it. But I will tell you, if you're just tuning in and you watch this after the fact, some wonderful, 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 wonderful news. The Crypt Book 2 Void Strike is now available for pre-order for Kindle only at this time. Kindle will be out January 27th, 2026. Making it one of the first books out in 2026, which is pretty dope.
Fantastic.
Pretty fantastic.
It's fantastic.
If you go to Amazon and search for The Crypt or Void Strike and my last name Sigler, you're going to find it. Twitch is back online. YouTube is back online. Facebook is back. Chris Carl's in his house.
Hey.
How you doing? How you doing? Is there too much headroom on this camera angle, baby?
A little bit.
I got it.
Okay.
There we go. All right. All right, ladies and germs. Now we're getting ready to rumble. Let's go to, we don't have an opening for this. I actually, so many things I think of in the middle of this. We literally can't take notes.
We do have the script has a little intro there, though.
Oh, great. Let's get into it.
Yeah.
Speaking of, there it is. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as we're waiting for people to come filtering back on in. They're coming to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. Good to see good to see you. Now
While we're waiting to start the recording, I will remind anybody who is listening that we will have a stream next Tuesday, not Wednesday, and there will be no stream in the last week of the year so far.
Great. Sounds good. You're starting to whisper a little bit, by the way.
Okay.
Yep. I think. I can't tell how it's going across. I'm getting the yellow and you were still in the green when you did that. Lovely, lovely voice. Okay. Let's see. We're rolling into deep cuts now, ladies and gentlemen. So this, of course, is not part of any particular story, but we hope you'll hang out and check it out. Well, that's the notification. You ready, babe? Let me get logic up. It's fun to do this for you. I won't lie. Boop, boop. Don't say anything. Check, check, check.
Check, check, check.
Literally said don't say anything.
You just pointed at me.
Oh, that was the wait point.
Come on. That's such bullshit. He went, check, check, check.
You're supposed to read my mind, dog. It's the way marriage works. You're just supposed to read my mind.
No marriage live streams on the regular, but us.
Okay, here we go. Let's go ahead and get to chat while we're waiting. And are you ready? Are you ready?
Yep.
Remember it. We don't talk in. No, I apologize. You had it perfectly right. I was going to say, don't list week, list episode. It says episode. Ready?
How dare.
In the last episode of Deep Cuts, we talked about which NFL. In the last episode of Deep Cuts, we talked about which concurrent NFL players have GFL analogs and the frozen tundra upon which they play, and it was a blast. But there are more stories and more players that just seem like they'd be great fits in the GFL. So let's talk about it.
Oh, absolutely. Let's do it. There are several NFL adjacent folks who absolutely are GFL adjacent too, and we want to talk about it. They might not be active players right now, but they are actively part of the NFL in 2025.
And from the frozen tundra of Curly Lambeau Field, we will talk about it right after this quick break. Ready? I mean, I hate to give props to the Packers, but that's the classic NFL Films line. Ready?
Yep.
Welcome to Deep Cuts, the bonus episode of the Scott Sigler Slices Fiction Podcast, where a sci-fi author and an audiobook narrator discuss things and stuff in the world of fiction and pop culture. I am Scott Sigler, sci-fi horror author known far and wide as the future Dark Overlord.
And I am A.B. Sigler, audiobook narrator and publisher at Empty Set Entertainment. And tonight we are talking about NFL players that have Galactic Football League analogs, part 2.
A reminder, this is a bonus episode of the Scott Sigler Slices feed. It is not part of any current story. You don't have to listen to this to know what's going on in the tale we're telling right now, but we hope you'll dig this peek behind the storyteller curtain. You ready to get into it, baby?
I am ready to get into it. This is super fun.
So the 4 GFL players we have selected for this episode are Ryan Nossek, the the all-pro defensive end for the ISIS Ice Storm. Yalla the Biter, outside linebacker for the Y'all Criminals, and someone who is one of the reasons that our buddy Quentin Barnes has a couple of scars. One he had to stitch up with a needle that's meant to repair jerseys. And then, because you all wanted it, who are the current NFL players who best represent the Tweedy brothers? Oh, we didn't get a picture of Mount Tweedy, did we?
We did not, but that's okay.
Who are the... And because you all wanted it, who are the two players that best represent everyone's favorite sub-characters in the series, John and Ju Tweedy, the Tweedy brothers?
My favorite thing about this is after working together to do this, the players that best represent the Tweedies aren't the people I thought they'd be. And they're probably not the people you thought they would be. But let's get into it.
We did not intentionally go find a pair of siblings to do this because of the positions they play. We're trying to stick to the positions that these players for the INF Krakens and the other teams in GFL, they play, to find their analog in the modern 2025 NFL world.
So can I just say the thing we need to say before we begin?
Sure.
So you guys, many of you guys, have let us know that the Tweedies remind you of the Kelseys or the Etiennes, who are brothers who play in the NFL. And while the Kelsey brothers definitely have a mom who has a split jersey that was half Chiefs and half Eagles, they are not the players that we chose because of the positions that these characters in the GFL play. That doesn't mean that we don't have all the mad respect for the Etiennes, Travis and Davis Etienne, and the Kelsey brothers, of course, and Ma Kelsey.
You got to respect Ma Kelsey.
You got to
respect Ma Kelsey.
We got it.
I don't know how that woman can even walk. Her womb must have fallen out. Have you seen the size of her children?
I know.
My God.
I mean, they were littler. They were littler when they first showed up. A little bit littler.
They're probably born like 87 pounds. Or
Yeah,
some
they probably
shit like that.
were. Yeah.
Also, but we're focusing on 3 defensive players and 1 offensive players in this episode. So let's cross our fingers that everything works right here. When I go to books, we're starting out. What did I do first?
Yalla.
Yeah, Yalla the Biter.
Next tab. Sorry.
Oh, that's all right. Thanks.
Yep.
Here?
Yep.
Okay. So, frankly, we didn't get a chance to kind of concisize this content. So we're going to be reading a little bit blocks of text, which as broadcasters, we try to not do, but just ran out of time, you guys. Ran out of time.
It's going to be fine.
Yalla the Biter is what most would consider a dirty player. Or what I would say is a go-getter who does what it takes to fucking win.
Okay. I'm not going to lie. The Biter is in his name.
Because he bites people on the field.
So I feel like go-getter is not exactly the right
Now back in the day,
thing.
This would have probably been Bill Romanowski, linebacker for the Raiders and the Broncos, considered by many to be a dirty player. Or, without a doubt, Vontaze Burfict, who was just probably should have been in fucking jail for the cheap shots he was delivering.
And
you
not
ready?
Ndamukong Suh?
Well, Ndamukong Suh is a defensive lineman, not a linebacker.
There you go. That's why I asked, because we are choosing the position.
And let's hope I have this right. The person we have chosen for the best match is Dre Greenlaw, linebacker for the 49ers, who played at the University of Arkansas. In the 2023 season, Greenlaw led the league in personal fouls among linebackers, regularly crossed into the opponent's sidelines, and once got ejected for escalating a routine tackle into a near... Oops. Darn it.
I love these photos. The first photo of him when he's got his head back and screaming is absolutely like, you guys are testing me.
It's so great. And
it's so good.
The reason he matches up very well with Yalla the Biter is because for a player like the Biter or Greenlaw, using, last names.
Of course.
Rules are suggestions. Now, this isn't a reckless player. He is intentionally hostile. He basically plays football. I'm sorry. The way football is meant to be played, it is a violent sport played by violent individuals with the objective of violence. And even though the NFL is doing a really good job trying to throttle that down.
Because, they want their players to survive.
You want your stars to stay on the field. You don't want them to be gone for a season or half a season. So they're doing the best they can to bring this down. Football, in particular the position of linebacker, is a conduit for violence. The more violent you are, the faster you get there, the harder you hit somebody, the better off your team is going to be. So there's a couple more details about Greenlaw. We have our information says Dre Greenlaw has been a productive high motor linebacker since entering the league in 2019, regularly posting strong tackle totals and heavy snap counts while anchoring the middle of the defense. However, his aggressive play has produced a notable penalty history, including multiple unnecessary roughness and face mask flags. In 2022 alone, he was tagged with 7 unnecessary reference penalties and 2 15-yard face mask calls. The 15-yarder is that's the egregious one. Like you intentionally grabbed that face mask and you ripped it around. Or in Yalla the Biter's case, you intentionally grabbed the quarterback's arm and gashed his arm with your nasty teeth all the way up here. So he had to go get 87 stitches to be able to come back on the game.
Sean Dyer in the Twitch chat room says, go-getter, like you just called Yalla the Biter, means go get a bite out of that other player.
Multiple seasons prior to
totally
2020
true.
saw Greenlaw receive multiple flags as well, giving him a career total of 18 flags for 195 yards. That's just from 2019 to 2023. His intensity is even crossing the discipline issues off the ball. In 2025, he was suspended 1 game by the NFL for unsportsmanlike conduct after chasing and verbally threatening a referee following the game.
What? What? He knows better. He absolutely knows
This
better.
is
He
a
just
no-no.
did that for fun.
I know. I don't care how into it you are, and it's easy to get into it. You cannot pursue the referee ever.
After the game especially, but also ever.
Yeah. Like Dre's all like, "That was a bad call. I'm gonna follow you home. We're gonna discuss it. Are your kids home? Because I'm gonna talk to them about it too."
Did you want to go get hash browns at Denny's with me? Because we need to talk about this.
Yeah.
Not okay.
Yeah. And Recluse Mage in chat room says, "Oof, that's not good. 15-yard hurts a team." Yes, 18 15-yard penalties, which automatically give the other team a first down. It's very, very rough. So
Out of control.
Dre
indeed.
Greenlaw is our pick for that player. I respect him.
I know you do. Can we do the next one?
Yes. When you play to win, sometimes there are, what is it called?
Consequences?
When a bomb goes off and it kills people you didn't mean to kill.
Collateral damage?
When you play to win, sometimes there's collateral damage.
That's not how
Write that down in our
that's
hero
definitely not
lexicon,
how
our taglines.
No, that's not how collateral damage
Collateral
works.
damage.
It's not how that works.
Now, the next one
Next
we're
one.
going to is
Ryan Nossek is the next one of the GFL characters that we're talking about, and the best current NFL match.
Well, let's talk about Ryan Nossek for just a second.
Okay.
All-Pro defensive end for the Isis Ice Storm, perennially threatening to win it all, always a hopeful and a contender to get into the playoffs. And part of the reason they're so good is because the right side of the line, or if I'm the quarterback, the left side of the line, it's a shutdown area. You don't run at Ryan Nossek because he's a heavy G. His arms are even longer than a normal heavy G's arms, giving him a wingspan of probably like 10 feet. It's this massive thing. He is on the cover of the All-Pro going at it against, shoot, I can't remember who he's going at it against. Anyways, he is an all-star in the GFL, a huge part of the first 3 books, an obstacle that Quentin must overcome. And baby, who did we pick for his representative?
We picked Max Crosby of the Raiders. He's hello, Tiny. He's a defensive end or an edge, and he played for Michigan, Eastern Michigan University.
The Emus, Eastern Michigan. They're not the Emus. They're the Hurons, but they should have been the Emus. They're the Eastern Michigan Eagles. They used to be the Eastern Michigan Hurons, named after the Michigan Native American tribe.
Should have been emus.
They should have been emus.
They should have.
During the phase where sports teams had disrespectful mascots, they got caught up in that wash, even though the local Huron tribes in Michigan were like, no, it's great. We want
we're
this.
good with this. Yeah.
We want this because it
That happened a lot.
teaches people about this tribe's history. Otherwise, that's like the one historical reference we have consistently in the white world is this. They wound up changing it, and they changed it to the eagles, not the emus, which is ridiculous.
It is a shame, yeah.
So
Max Crosby in 2023 played over 1,000 defensive snaps, led all edge rushers in pressures, and still chased plays down 20 yards downfield like he hadn't already ruined the quarterback's afternoon. Offensive lines regularly slide protection away from him, accepting loss on the opposite side to avoid catastrophe. And that sounds quite a lot like Nossek. Because Max Crosby doesn't play dirty. He's not flashy. He's not trying to get away with anything. He is just relentlessly dependent on physics. He knows when he shows up and hits a quarterback, it looks like the air just vanishes from that man's lungs. He knows that if he plays with physics and not dirty, he'll win.
Yeah, he's just a absolute. His motor never stops. Patrick Mahomes has said that Max Crosby is the single best pass rusher he's ever played against. So,
what? I mean,
yeah, it's a big from a three-time ring bearer. It's fucking it's a big ass compliment.
I've never heard that before.
I just made it up. All right, so now there's those two, and now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get into the people you've all been waiting for, which are Ju Tweedy and his little brother John. No, wait. John Tweedy and his little brother Ju. Oh, wait a minute, though.
But before we do that, we have to take a quick break. Please listen to the ads. There's only one or two. It really helps the podcast, and we'll be back right after this.
Go, we got tons of people watching. It's very fun. Very fun. Okay, now let me get queued up. I'm just going to jump right into it. Ready?
Yeah.
Hold on. Tell me when. And we are back.
Thank you so much for joining the podcast. Sorry, it was me who needed to do that. Yeah, sorry. And we are back.
And we are back.
In this episode, we are talking about NFL players with GFL analogs in the real world in 2025. Part 2 from last week.
Now, we're going to talk about a running back who originally played for the OS1 Orbiting Death, owned by Anna Volani. And then, in the context of the GFL series, he became a person who was in a bit of trouble and also up on a contract year. Volani did not want to let this player go. This player's name is Ju Tweedy because he was a dominant, powerful running back for the OS1 Orbiting Death. But Quentin, Ju's brother John, and several other Kraken's players risked their own lives to go to OS1 and rescue Ju and bring him back. And as part of this process, Greedock the Splithead was able to sign all-star player Ju Tweedy for league minimum for 2 seasons. And now as we head into
Brock
GFL
Purdy.
Book 7, as we head in, Brock Purdy's a good example. As we head into GFL Book 7, Mr. Tweedy is coming up on a free agent contract year, which is going to create some significant headaches for the Ionath Krakens. He's powerful. He's strong. He runs north and south, which in football terminology means there's not a lot of cutting. You just run people the fuck over. The current player that we have chosen to represent this all-star running back for the Ionath Krakens is Mr. Derrick Henry.
Okay. My favorite thing about about Derrick Henry is almost every time you Google him, he is in a photo with somebody who is not on their feet, that he has bowled over with his stiff arm.
Yes, Derrick Henry is what they would call in the sports world a grown-ass man.
A grown-ass man.
He is a running back that could easily play linebacker, probably could even play defensive end. He is just a bowling ball with legs. He's just a powerful guy. He's very strong. His legs are legendary. Him and Saquon Barkley have just obscenely watermelon-sized thighs. It's crazy how much leg power they have. But his upper body is also very strong, and that usually results in highlight reel after highlight reel of his stiff arms. A defensive player will come up to get him. Derrick Henry will slap them like the grown-ass man that he is and make professional defensive backs who are weighing 220 pounds fly into never land.
I know. It's insane.
Now, Derrick has not had the dominant season everybody expected this year. This year, everybody expected the Ravens were considered the top contender for the title. They're not out of it. They're not out of it at all. If they get in the playoffs, anything can happen with the team that they have. The defense is a little suspect, but right now, Derrick Henry, if you get him back in the playoffs and keep feeding him the rock, who knows what could happen. So this year hasn't been great for Derrick Henry, but he's an absolute legend in the league. First ballot Hall of Famer. King Henry is going to be enshrined in Canton because he just knocks people the fuck out. So while you're watching the end of the NFL season, 2025 season, as we get into the playoffs, if the Ravens make the playoffs, you're going to want to watch Derrick Henry because that is a perfect, absolutely perfect analog for Ju Tweedy. Not just now, but I would say all time. I would say,
yeah.
I would say Jerome Bettis, the bus for the Pittsburgh Steelers, is another spot on analog, but Mr. Bettis, who is in the Hall of Fame, is no longer playing right now.
And we have a handful of comments in the chat room, and Scott just brought it up. So we are specifically talking about players who are actively in the NFL or around the NFL right now. So
yes.
Jason Kelsey would work, but Robert Tinarella in the chat room on Facebook says go old school with Matt Shuey, and that is too far afield because he's not part of the NFL right now, because Scott had folks that he had in mind for a lot of his characters back in the day, but that's now 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah, I started writing the series literally 30 years ago. It's a little bit more, actually. So
yeah.
Back when I had hair.
And I know who was Quentin Barnes?
Quentin Barnes was originally a combination of two players, which was Dante Culpepper of the Minnesota Vikings. Incredibly powerful arm, huge for the position, and Jim McMahon from the Bears, who wound up and also wound up going to a religious school for religion that he was not even remotely a part of. So the two of those guys together were really, really helpful.
So I wanted to bring that up because a lot of people in the chat room have a lot of like, what about this guy? And we're specifically pinning it to active NFL players. And active players because that makes it more accessible for everyone.
Now, we have talked about Ma Tweedy's baby boy, Ju. But Ju has an older brother who in the early books of the GFL was very frustrated. He's a little brother. I'm supposed to be able to beat him up anytime I want to. It doesn't make any sense. It's mega stupid.
Super mega stupid.
Ju's older brother, John Tweedy, a.k.a. Uncle Johnny, who has done some heroic, legendary shit in the GFL series. If you've not read through book 6 of the GFL series, you've been missing out. Uncle Johnny is what we would call a stud.
He has also done some legendary stupid shit.
Legendary stupid shit as well.
And he's fine with both. So,
but overall, when you're talking about the man, the excitement, the joy of not just the joy of the game, the joy of freaking everything all the time. John is always at 11 when the rest of the world's trying to chill at 6.
100%.
John, there's all gas, no brakes. And John is an all-pro linebacker. Nice. Here we go. We had a, what do you call him? We had a spammer. Jump in. John is an all-pro linebacker, probably a future Hall of Famer in the GFL, a 2-time ring bearer.
Will you explain what a future Hall of Famer is?
The Hall of Fame for the NFL is in Canton, Ohio. And for players who have a long-term career at the highest levels and usually win at least one Super Bowl or are absolutely dominant at their position, will eventually, hopefully, get voted into the Hall of Fame. 5 players every year are enshrined, called enshrined. They're enshrined in Canton. They get a big bronze bust of their head that goes in with their year. And then there are many other elements that go into Canton. If you're ever in the Canton, Ohio area and you're a football fan, you want to go to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. It is a magnificent facility.
But explain what a future Hall of Famer means.
A future Hall of Famer is someone who's actively playing right now, but everybody knows they're going in probably on first ballot. So there's two. He's a future first ballot Hall of Famer. That means that dude's going into the show, right? He's going to get enshrined.
And that's not a thing that the Hall of Fame says. That's a thing that sports writers and commentators are saying. Like, this guy is absolutely earned out. When it's time for him to go, he'll go.
When his time in the sun is done and he's living out his years in the shade, he's going to put on the gold jacket and he's going to get enshrined in Canton, Ohio. It's a beautiful, wonderful thing. And for sure, so John Tweedy will be a GFL Hall of Famer, as probably will Quentin Barnes, maybe Ju, and a few other players. Don't know if this gentleman we're about to talk about right now is a future Hall of Famer, but he's doing very well.
But before we do, there's a question in the chat room. How many times have you been to the Hall of Fame?
Twice. I went once when I was a wee lad, and once when The Rookie was out, and I went with my co-author of Slay, Rob Otto.
This is one of my favorite things. You guys, so Rob and I split the navigating duties on that tour. Rob picked up for a week and a half when I went back to my regular job, and then I flew back in the day in 2009 when I had a different job in addition to this one. And they went to Canton to go to the Football Hall of Fame, and there are many, many beautiful photos of them together enjoying it. And I love it because it was Rob who was like, you absolutely have to do Canton. You have to.
That's a stop. Yep.
And it was so important and it was so relevant, and I'm so glad he said so. And I'm so glad you guys went together.
So now we are on to the current player who best represents everybody's favorite secondary character in the GFL series. And that is right now. Okay, we go. And I get the next picture. Oops. That is Alex Singleton.
Hi, Tiny.
Alex Singleton, linebacker for the Denver Broncos, graduated from Montana State University. He is the anecdote that sealed it for us. After a full-speed collision on an inside run, Alex Singleton jumped up laughing, slapped his own helmet, and starts shouting at the opposing huddle, "Again! Run it again!" Shouting, calling, like, "Try it again. It was so much fun taking that hit from that giant person." Also, someday, side note, I will tell the run it again story. My run it again story is not quite as joyful as Alex, my football run it again story.
So why Alex Singleton is so John Tweedy is none of that is gameplay or trash talk or rage. He is genuinely delighted to be on the field and taking hits. He is genuinely delighted to show up and play football. He's a linebacker who seems confused when the violence stops, and he wants the whole ride to start over again as if it's a roller coaster. Fans love him. Teammates laugh with him. Opponents back away slowly from him.
Singleton has been one of the league's most active linebackers since becoming a full-time starter, amassing over 500 career tackles and leading the entire NFL in total tackles in 2022. He routinely plays among the highest snap counts at his position, rarely leaving the field and showing up on film snap after snap with relentless pursuit. An undrafted player who worked his way through the CFL, the Canadian Football League, before earning an NFL role, Singleton has built his career on motor, availability, and violent consistency, thriving not only on splash plays, but on being everywhere the ball goes.
But we do have to talk about this. There is another thing that is very John Tweedy coded, which is he had a moment in 2025, literally 2 months ago, where in October of 2025, he just had a routine drug screening that every NFL player has to commit to. And his routine drug screening came back with a high level of HCG, human growth hormone, essentially. And that turned out to be a very, very, very early indicator of testicular cancer or prostate cancer, testicular cancer. And he absolutely knew going into a game on October, I think, 25th of 2025.
Mm-hmm. The actual hormone was HCG, which is human chorionic gonadotropin.
Yeah.
There you go.
So both, well, that doesn't matter. So he had a thing that showed up in his blood test very early, and it was a testicular cancer diagnosis. He went into a game on, I think, October 25th of this year, knowing that it might be the last time he fielded in the NFL. And there's a photo of this we'll get to. This is the game that he played in October. He was walking off the field. No one else but him and his care team knew in this moment that he was going the next day to have surgery to treat his prostate cancer, testicular cancer. And he absolutely did. And then, just like I believe John Tweedy would do, he told the entire world about it, saying, you guys need to do this. You need to get tested. You need to be careful.
You really got to check your jumblies. I mean, you got to get down in the field and make sure there's nothing going on.
I mean, it's okay, right? Like he did. It's such a brave, huge, wonderfully caring moment that he chose to share all of that. And also he chose to play against, like, his doctors were like, right, so if you're going through all of this, you might not want to put any more trauma on your body. And he had a conversation with his care team, which was like, I would really like to play this last game in case it's the last game I play.
Yeah, isn't that? There's nothing more John Tweedy. And for those of you listening to the podcast, we do this live stream. We tend to show images on the live stream. And right now we have a picture of Alex after his final game, what could have been his final game in his entire life, because he, could have died and shit, or not been able to come back for his career. He's walking around the stadium, high-fiving the fans, doing the stadium walk that Quentin and the other players often do at their home games for Ionath. And he is just beaming. He's just happy. You can tell by looking at this human being, he's like, if it all ends today, at least I had this moment. And it's everything to him.
And
it's
beautifully, he's great right now. He not only successfully went through very early treatment for testicular cancer, which came back with a 100% cancer-free diagnosis, he also fielded again in this season.
Is he playing right? He's playing right now?
He's fielding anyway. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. So it's one of the lovely things about this is he did this all obviously taking care of him and his family, but also keeping in mind that he had a platform that could help people who might not feel good about talking about especially about their nuts and their personal selves. He chose to do that, and he chose to do that thoughtfully and with his team and with his family. And I think he probably saved a whole bunch of lives. I do think.
And in the chat room, Jason Smith quotes Tom Green, famous for saying, "Boys, feel your balls." you gotta get in there and check stuff out, man. The girls have to get their boobies felt up all the time. Yeah, you're gonna have to get your nuts checked out.
We have the scoot appointment. Everybody has a scoot appointment of some.
What do you mean by scoot appointment?
For women, everybody knows what the scoot appointment is. It is your OBGYN annual exam, and what you have to do is put your feet, ankles in stirrups and your knees up, and then they make you scoot down to the end of the table. That said, I think you have this.
No, it's largely, I mean, for guys, okay, now we've drifted off from the football content and the fictional content.
You know what, Alex
and now
Singleton
we're going to talk about,
and John Tweedy would
We're going to talk about feeling your own balls. There was a time my parents had to say, Scott, stop feeling your own balls all the time. You have to move on with your life.
I do it every day. Every day.
So with guys, we don't have that. I don't believe we have that constant impetus to be like, okay, now you're 24. You got to come in. We're going to feel. We have hernia checks, which are a goddamn nightmare for teenage boys.
What is like the cuff?
That's hernia checks. Like,
okay, yeah. So our scoot is your cough.
For many young American men, I can't speak to other cultures who are athletic. The first time someone other than yourself touches your testicular region, it is a doctor, and he is there cupping and saying, all right, now turn your head and cough. Turn your head and cough.
Turn your head and cough is for females, for women,
a nightmare of passage for young men. It is talked about in junior high and in the 6th grade, like, dude, I'm not going in for a hernia check. They grab your nuts. I'm like, you got to go in for a hernia check, man. No, dude, I'm just not going to do it. I'm going to skip the hernia check, and I'm just going to get on the field, and I'm going to go play. Bro, you can't play without a hernia check. And it is like the fucking gauntlet of young male adolescents. Like, I got to go in, and the doctor's going to touch my nuts. This is terrible. What is it? It's a thing that's healthy and good for you.
Okay, so listen. For women, for people assigned female at birth, the turn your head and cough appointment is called a scoot appointment because it's still the same trouble. Let me also share this. Our good friend, Ollie Kirby, just posted in our chat room tonight on Facebook, the best way to fuck cancer is to get tested early and often. Please, all junkies get tested for all cancers that you can. It's a year today since I lost my dad to cancer. So get the digit test. And have a good feel. Have a good feel. Exactly.
Have a good feel. You know what, ladies and gentlemen, if you're still listening at this point, it's the Pokemon of health. You want to collect them all. Is there a cancer test you haven't had yet? You know what? Tuesday's open. Let's go get that motherfucker. Yes, and this is...
As a cancer survivor, I will tell you a lot of... I have had... I went in because I thought I was having like a mole, like a cosmetic surgery problem, and it turned out to be basal cell carcinoma. And I didn't know it at all, and all I cared about was how cute my face would remain. And none of that matters, because when you get somebody saying, so that's cancer...
Rob Tenorella bringing that Sheboygan. We both went to Sheboygan High School. Bringing that Sheboygan class. Hopefully the doctor doesn't have big fat fingers when you get the finger feel. Yeah, that would be nice. But you know what? All of this is it's minor temporary discomfort. The biggest discomfort is in your noggin, where you're like, oh, there's a couple of things. Number one, it's awkward and it's uncomfortable. And that can be a lot for dudes. I can't speak for chicks, but the whole concept of the stuff can be a lot.
Trust.
And then the other part of it for dudes, and probably for women too, is, dude, I don't have time for that. I'm so busy. I got to pick the kids up from soccer. I can't. You need to make time to go to your doctor and say, give me everything. Give me the dipstick. Give me the check, stick something in my ear. I don't care.
And I will tell you, as a person who has gone through treatment, and everyone else who is listening to this in the chat room, share your stories too. I assure you, the least invasive, most tolerable visit you have is the visit where you get told, well, that's cancer. And that sounds insane, right? The easiest visit for that treatment is the day they tell you, well, that's cancer. Because now you know, and now you know what you're going to do or not do from it. So I feel everyone, and I feel the same way, that it is, I said, feel everyone?
No,
good. It's, I feel everyone's cringe when they're like, oh, I got to do this, and they're going to take a finger, and they've got this and the scooting and all that. Yes, it's embarrassing, and it's hard, and it's weird.
Mm-hmm.
It is wildly easier than fixing the problem of cancer. Wildly easier.
Chris Crawl in the chat room, who had, I believe, skin cancer.
Indeed.
And he says,
oh my goodness.
And he had skin cancer on his nose and went through a very successful long-term process to take care of that issue. And now you would literally never know. Chris Crawl says, if you don't put on sunscreen, it's no skin off my nose. Oh, wait.
Chris, you're killing me, Holmes. You're killing me.
Jason Smith is tuning out for tonight, and we are going to close up shop.
Absolutely.
I do think we had Mike Wers in the chat room say, quote, pop the hood, doc, end quote. That's a good phrase. You guys go collect them all. Ask your doctors, what cancers have you not checked for, and can we get that on the docket? And your kid can stay at soccer practice for an extra half an hour. They're going to be fine. They're going to be fine.
Also, I'm going to say, Cobalt, you're having to fix a hernia might also be easier done sooner rather than later.
Yeah,
hernias
are a motherfucker,
get a little bit out of hand if you let it. But you're smarter than the average bear, so I think you'll take care of it.
That is it for this episode of Deep Cuts.
We'll be back next week for a Christmas Eve hangout.
You can email us with anything you want us to talk about, questions you have about what we do, the stories, etc. You can send that to info@emptyset.com. And until the next episode, you all smell an awful lot like flowers.
We love you guys.
And get your oil checked.
Get your oil checked.
Get your oil checked. Goodbye.
Scoot, scoot. Turn and cough. Well, this turned into a shockingly positive
This is like you know what? This is like the fucking after school special. You know, this is
I'm
like
just a bill sitting here on Capitol Hill.
This is fucking Alex on Family Ties. And next on Family Ties, a very special episode why Alex gets his prostate checked.
But it's totally true, you guys. Like, I know it's not fun, but it's necessary.
Yeah. Ju just in the chat room post soon, so I guess
because he's see us next
he's
week.
seeing.
I love you.
I thought he was going to go get his oil checked.
No,
not soon.
No,
Okay.
2 days. I think.
You should have had it checked by now, Jude. If you haven't, it's an experience. We had, the first prostate exam as a man is a very interesting process. But what was really fucking interesting about it was the prep, the preparation to make sure you are properly cleaned out. I tell you what, I was proud of myself. I was proud. I'm like, that is the most I have ever pooped in my life.
Oh my God.
I have had some instances where I have bought food off of street vendors, and
you did have the goulash in your hand.
I've bought a handful of goulash from a hippie at a Grateful Dead concert for $5 because she was out of bowls. And I'm like, just put it right here, man.
Put it in my hand for a dime.
Me and my buddy Scott Christian eating goulash, going to the Pontiac Silverdome to watch.
It's a good thing wasn't a date for us.
We were in the Pontiac Silverdome, which somehow, for a weird reason, became kind of hazy inside. It's a Grateful Dead concert.
I wake in the morning and I step outside and I take a deep hit.
And I get real high. And what was going on was the Pontiac Silverdome was the world's biggest bong. It was a giant. You couldn't see to the other side. It was the whole thing. And at this point, I had never partaken of marijuana, and I was fucking offended. I'm like, well, these goddamn fucking hippies dancing and shit. What are you doing? Pay attention to the goddamn music, you sons of bitches. And I'm like, we're probably in a brawl. Because I'd already got in a huge argument with the Save the Whales guy. The Save the Whales guy and I were fucking going at it. We had a great debate. It was awesome. And then we go in, and I'm like, and at one point I'm like, man, why can't I see? I've been to the Silverdome like 8 times. Why can't I see the other side? What's going on?
And why can't I feel my face?
And then eventually, I'm mad at the girl who's doing this. And 20 minutes later, there's me. Woo! Grateful Dead, fucking dancing. Came out, had the worst case of the munchies ever. So on the way in, there are all the people like, hey, man, I need a miracle. So they follow this band around, right? They follow this band around, hoping that somebody has extra tickets. And they're just going to get, which apparently in this culture of love, sometimes they get extra tickets. So she said, man, I need a miracle. And she had a 5-gallon paint bucket.
Like a Home Depot?
Home Depot paint bucket full of goulash.
That's a problem.
It was warm. And I'm not going to lie to you.
I'm not going to lie to you. Bad.
When I had it, it's probably the best goulash I've ever had in my fucking life. Bro.
I mean, I will make you goulash. Come on now.
So we go in. Oof. I am literally getting into verbal altercations with the Greenpeace people, and I'm just shouting at people and just fucking did not like hippies. I just wanted to go because Christian's like, you got to go. I'm like, whatever the fuck you say. Because Christian's a conduit to a very good time all the time. So we go in.
Can confirm.
And I am so uptight. And so I'm so fucking uptight. And I think it was wrestling season. So I weighed like $126. And we go in there, and I was secondhand smoked to the gills. If secondhand smoke was like, you need to enter this ventilation chamber, sir, and you need to close your eyes, otherwise the smoke will make you blind. That's how thick it was. And I came out, and I'm just like, much more relaxed. I come out, and then there's the girl with the goulash.
And you're like, shit, man.
And she's like, hey, man.
Goulash.
She's like, hey, man, I need a miracle. I'm like, lady, the concert's over. She's like, oh, wow, man. But she was still selling goulash for $5.
Wow, man.
I'm like, hey, man, I got $5. No, I'm saying man, too. I'm like, hey, man, I got $5. Can I have some goulash? She's like, yeah, man, but I'm all out of bowls, man. I'm like, just put it right here, girl. And she puts a big old dollop, and me and Christian walk back to the car eating goulash. And the next day was not quite as impressive as the prostate exam prep, but it was pretty significant.
So if any of you wonder why, on the admin page at scottsigler.com, at the FAQ, can I mail you some cookies? The answer is, unfortunately, we cannot accept any unsolicited foodstuffs shipped to our P.O. box. It's because he will eat hand goulash.
I'll eat it. It was delicious hand goulash. And the first, before I partnered up with before business partnered up with people were sending me like cheesecakes and shit and big old plates of brownies and whatever. Somebody sent me chicken. It was fucking, and I'm like, my fridge is full of love. My creation has gone out in the world and been returned to me with savory delicacies from across the country. And then she comes in and I was like, order number one's like, okay, if we're going to work together, you may not eat food from other people that you don't know. Like, I'm like, okay, whatever.
That
hippie,
is like half of my lunches.
And then she was dead there. She's like, no, you don't know if that's poison. You know, these people are crazy. You don't know if it's gone, the food has gone bad. And I'm like, well, I guess I never thought of these things. It never crossed my mind that it might be unhealthy for me to eat food that people have mailed to me through the U.S. Postal Service.
Yeah.
So I'm not allowed to eat that stuff. Mike Wers, hold on now. Mike Wers says no Alaskan salmon for me. Depends on how it's shipped, bro. If it's sealed up, if it's
unsolicited, he can't have it. If you reach out beforehand, and you guys are our friends, so that's different. But if just food shows up at the P.O. box,
Ollie,
that's a no. So I do have a few things before we leave. Ollie in the chat room, go ahead.
It says the worst thing is when after the prostate test and the doc walks into the room and asks who that was.
Who is that?
Like, yeah. Ollie, I got one. Since you're telling tales out of school, I got one for you right here. I go for my first prostate test. And at this point in my life, I am far less uptight. I'm a huge proponent of science and medicine. And basically, in a nutshell, if the doctors want to do it to you, you roll with that stuff, right? So, and I'd known people who went and got it. And of course, I'm still a little bit nervous. I'm like, well, how big is, what's going on down south? Like, don't worry about it. It's going to be fine. I'm like, all right. I'm like, let's go. I'm making a sports game. Let's do this, man. I'm going to poop more than anybody's ever. We go. And as you're getting ready, you get the prep, you get the magic elixirs of evacuation. And I take those and was never more than 3 feet from the bathroom. Read a good book. It was always right there. And go in. And I'm like, I'm trying to be cool, man. I'm like, I'm pro science, bro. I'm pro medicine. I'm not going to argue with anybody. I'll be super chill. Get in there. They're giving it this nurse. I mean, this was a factory. There were like 130 buttholes coming in and out of this joint through the course of the afternoon. They had it down to a science. And I'm in the butthole plant and they start to give me the, what do you call it? The
Twilight IV.
The Twilight IV.
Twilight sedation.
Twilight sedation. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm like, and then I'm like, and the nurse was not having anybody sass. So she's right there and she's doing this. She's asking me to count down. And then the next thing you know, I come out and I'm like I did this. I'm like 5, 4. Okay, what are we doing? And she was sitting right there and she's like, I'm like, are we going to do this or not? She's like, you're done. And I'm like, no. I just got here. She's like, sir, you're done. And I'm like, I don't want to go through all that evacuation and then have to do it again because it was very uncomfortable. I'm like, no, I haven't had what are you talking about? And she's like, sir, you're finished. It's fine. Go. She was mad as fuck because I was trying to tell her I hadn't actually had the test yet. I was out.
She just wanted you to get into recovery.
But you know what? I didn't ask her if she was fucking Greenpeace because that could have been a fucking discussion.
So I have had a lot more anesthesia than Scott has had in his life. I will tell you shortly, since we're not recording, my most embarrassing anesthesia story is I got my tonsils taken out in 2014 as a fully grown adult. And I walked into the OR, I got in the whole Tyvek suit with the little hair mask and all that stuff, but walked in on my own because you get in on the table yourself and then they put the IV in and then they put you in the right position after. Anyhow, as I have the IV, so I walk in, I'm chatting with the anesthesiologist and the nurses and stuff, and everything seems fine. And then the anesthesiologist says, well, I'm about to administer. First, you'll get a early dose and then you'll get something else. And I think everything is fine. He has told me he's about to drug me. And I'm like, blah, blah, blah. And then apparently right before I go under to get my tonsils out in 2014, I say, listen, if I end up with superpowers, I promise to use them only for good. And the only reason I know that is 2 years later, I happened to look at my post surgical notes in my online portal, and they put that in as a comment that the patient, a lovely, however old woman, blah, 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 mentioned that she would, if she got superpowers, she would use them only for good. And the OR team enjoyed it.
And that'll be part of your permanent record. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for us. We've enjoyed giving you some stories about our private parts and fondling and feeling and checking dipsticks, explosiveness, evacuations, and drugs. Apparently, we're talking about a lot of drugs this evening. And
we will be back a week.
$5 goulash.
Oh, gosh.
You carry right in your hand.
We will be back on Tuesday next week. All we're doing is hanging out with you. If you've got stories you want to talk about,
it's
if you've
holiday
got photos
time.
you want to share,
It's
if you
great.
want to share photos of your Christmas trees, anything like that.
If you want to share photos of your Christmas trees, what do they do with them?
They're just email info@emptysat, and we will run a handful of photos and handful of Christmas stories, and it's just hanging out with you guys before the holidays begin.
And I'm not going to lie, if you want to share photos of your prostate exam, it's not that kind of show. Find another podcast. That's not, we're not doing that. Not unless it's
also don't send those to the PO box. Don't send those to the PO box.
Extremely funny. Then I will have to discuss my business partner. But it was really fucking funny. Who knows what's going to happen?
Okay, Recluse Mage on Twitch. It has been an evening, Sigglers. We love you guys. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Soon there will be another episode where I talk about my butthole, but it won't be next week.
Might be next week. You don't know. It is a holiday story.
We'll be eggnogging it up next week, you guys. Who knows what the fuck we're going to talk about?
It was very fun.
Yeah, with non-alcoholic eggnog. It was
still pretty fun.
Addictively delicious. I was like, oh, this is trouble. Because you know when you get the booze in that thing and it's that tasty and it's got all that sugar in it, that's straight up hangover medicine, bro. It's no, not hangover medicine.
Hangover
juice
treatment.
Straight up, it's hangover juice. All right, you guys rock. We have to go. We got things to do. Have a great evening. We will see you next week. It'll be very fun. And if you do want to spend part of your holiday time with us, we would love it. Later.